Another game, another biased refereeing in the NBA Finals. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was a target of the NBA referees, but in a positive way, as he became the first player in NBA history to receive a foul off a jump ball. Add that to a couple of controversial missed calls, such as travel, push-off, and a direct body slam between Lu Dort and McConnell, and you have yet another case of the Pacers versus the referees. Can this bigotry finally end? And if so, have the Pacers been damaged enough already? History has been made in Game 5 of the NBA Finals, and I'm not talking about the 40-piece that Jaylen Williams dropped on the Pacers. That will get its credit later on in this video. I'm talking about Shai becoming the first player in NBA history to earn free throws off a jump ball. Let's have a look at the play and judge for ourselves.
In the NBA, gonna try and win this tip. Are they gonna do it again? Loose ball foul, huh?
They give TJ a loose ball.
Not for a violation. Oh, a foul. Wow. Boy, you don't see that very often. That's his third.
Was there a contact? Most likely, yes. TJ McConnell had the height disadvantage, and he may have tried to utilize this play in a bit of a dirtier manner. But was it worth a foul and free throws? The foul itself translated to free throws because the Thunder were in the bonus, but it's a clear indicator that the referees are yet again making controversial plays against the Pacers. The sole fact that Shai shot 14 free throw attempts speaks volumes about the direction of the refereeing process in the finals. After Scott Foster, or more commonly known as the Extender, did his thing in Game 4, his successors made sure that the Thunder wouldn't be affected by any negative surprises in Game 5. I am not saying the referees won the game. When your superstar player makes 0 shots from the court and finishes with 4 points only, I don't think there is much you can look towards from your team. 25 turnovers, the wingman of Shai scoring 40 points. What's more to be talked about here? But the referees have been making some criminal mistakes when it comes to judging the plays of Oklahoma. In this insert, we can clearly see how Shai's been implementing his tactic of pushing off the defender, making an extra step and attempting a shot. It has been tolerated throughout the entire playoff series of the Thunder, but now that the stakes are higher than ever, the referees need to think twice before allowing him to get away with it. Let's not act like this wouldn't be an offensive foul on the other end of the court if the ball was in the hands of Nembhard or Haliburton. Again, nothing against the Thunder players, it's just the biased opinions that the referees seem to have when it comes to judging the plays around Shai. You could make the argument that Shai didn't extend his hand or gather his step before making the shot, but it's borderline controversial to let him get away with such plays. And it's not just Shai who's been perceived as the player with the most preferential treatment from the current Thunder team. Let's have a look at this play from Lu Dort.
Turnover. We got a foul right here. TJ McConnell, Dort.
A defender who's been vastly criticized for flopping when receiving minimal contact from the rival. In this particular play, it's clear that McConnell is trying to set up a screen. Maybe he was a little bit late on that regard, but look at the force with which Lu Dort tackled him. It's probably the only instance in which you'll see the defender tackle another player, and the referees will call a foul on the guy who got hit. I don't think McConnell played the screen perfectly here, but I also don't think it was worthy of the whistle being called on him, especially when you look at the motion of Lu Dort. He had the intention of bumping into TJ and never making it to Haliburton, excessively trying to draw the foul. It's been dirty games by Dort for more or less the entire series, but the referees are somehow falling for it. So, what would happen if we flipped the script and we viewed some offensive plays of the Thunder? Let's have a look at what made Rick Carlisle very irate and end up with a technical foul.
Can't get to the ball. Fight for the rebound. Turner keeps it alive. Nembhard on the follow. Can't get to the ball. He thought there was contact. SGA in the front court.
Throughout this play, you could see how Nembhard rebounded his own miss and then tried to lay the ball. The defense played by who other than Lu Dort wasn't controversial by any means if you ask the referees, but this angle clearly shows that there was contact that threw Nembhard out of his optimal position to shoot the ball. The referees believed that there wasn't any type of contact whatsoever, hence their belief to continue with the play, and it ultimately ended up with a foul on SGA and 2 free throws for the MVP. Carlisle was literally fuming from the bench, something that resulted in a technical foul. All in all, it wasn't a pleasurable match to watch from a refereeing point of view. The Thunder tried to do everything they could in order to force fouls and turnovers, and effectively they did. But the main problem here was the lack of presence that Tyrese Haliburton showed on the court.
Stays with him, though. Top of box, Haliburton. Shot clock winding
down. Haliburton gets up, pulls up, jump shot. Way off.
With 0 field goals made and just 4 points on the table, the Pacers have nothing to be looking forward to in these series. At the end of the day, you are the man who needs to carry the team to the promised land. I don't see how this helps the Pacers in Game 6, especially with Haliburton being questionable. And if they are playing the same type of basketball they did in Game 5, the referees will be the least of their worries. Even the backup failed massively. Just look at how Nembhard played throughout the entire game. In 36 minutes, he shot 3 for 8 from the field, 0 for 2 behind the arc, and scored just 7 points. He had one of the worst plus-minus on his team, -12, tied with Nesmith and below Haliburton and Toppin, who had -13 and -16 respectively. It's going to be a game to be forgotten by Andrew, but be that as it may, we definitely need to look at how Jaylen Williams cooked the Pacers with his gameplay tonight.
Turnover. Siakam got a little sloppy with a dribble. Williams running ahead of the pack, goes in and throws it down.
And it almost signals that he's ready to shoot.
Hartenstein, backdoor Williams, nice left hand, hungry. Gilgeous-Alexander. Hartenstein, beautiful bounce pass to Williams.
It was the most effective night of Jaylen Williams. 40 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. He shot 14 of 25 from the field and 3 for 5 from behind the arc, compared to Shai, who shot 9 for 21 and 0 for 3 from the three-point line. It was more or less a lock-in for Jaylen to win this game for the Thunder. And when you commit 11 turnovers in a game, I guess you can bet on the game win without any disturbances coming your way. History has been written by Williams, who joined NBA history by becoming one of the youngest players to score 40 points in the NBA Finals. The players who managed to do so before him at a younger age are quite elite. Magic Johnson, Rick Barry, Jerry West, and Russell Westbrook. It's a clear indicator that the Thunder do mean business, and are looking to wrap things up after intense matchups with the Pacers. The Thunder are now just 1 game away from the championship win, and by the looks of the NBA experts, they have everything wrapped up and they just have to play yet another composed game in order to bring the title home. Although the referees' decisions will definitely go down as quite controversial ones, we cannot take away the fact that the Thunder completely shut down any move of Indiana's players. Again, if Haliburton plays the way he did tonight, the only worry that Carlisle needs to have is whether or not Tyrese is the superstar he claims to be. Not because he doesn't have the potential, but because the inconsistency threatens to ruin his potential legacy with the Pacers. If they manage to do so, the championship run will definitely go a bit in the shadow of how the referees decided to take care of business. With all this in mind, what do you think about the atrocious decisions that the refs brought in Game 5? And more importantly, has the favorable whistle agenda been put to work yet again when it comes to Shai? Let us know in the comments below, and once you do that, make sure to click on the video that appears on your screen right now.